This video is sponsored by Squarespace, the place to go to if you want to set up your own slick-looking website or online store. I can't not do this, but it feels like I and everybody else on the internet has done about 10 videos each on the R5 already. But look, it's Canon that's announced it 3 times, so don't shoot the messengers, alright? Okay, before we get started, I'm going to make one of those lovely thumbnails that makes it look like I'm holding the camera. Wow, look at those effects, so real. Every time Canon does something good or bad, it becomes such a huge talking point. The community doesn't give two craps when Panasonic releases something like the S1H, which is really rather good, but sensible. The S1H is a fantastically sensible choice for taking video. It takes sensibly raw 5.9 sensible Ks of footage. And even though the continuous AF is not so sensibly bad, it has a fan in it, so it won't overheat. Sensible. But look, we live in a time when we like making a tit of ourselves on TikTok, so sensible is not de rigueur. Although I would never actually describe Canon as fashionable, the sun has never really set on their popularity despite Cropgate episode 1 and 2. Completely forgot about the crop factor. And I stopped noticing after that because I was too busy rolling my eyes. But look, Canon is not really cool, but like others, I become attracted to news of a new Canon camera every bloody time. Maybe because everybody else is, or because I use Canon for stills with the 5D3 and have become accustomed to the ergonomics and the pleasing look of their skin tone since.
I'm a Canon user, yes. I've used the Canon C300 Mark II, I had the ATD, I had the EOS M5, had the 5D Mark III. So I've got some weird kind of attachment with Canon. Always talking about dual pixel autofocus, Canon color science, L lenses. LPE6 batteries. Menu systems are great.
But look, I'm not committed to one brand. I love Leica, I feel sorry for Pentax, but otherwise I'll just go for whatever works best for me. So why exactly have I been so excited by an R5 news? Well, because it's very un-Canon-like to put 8K in a camera available to any random Joe who is willing to splash 4K on a camera, of course. Before this, it's always felt like Canon's strategy is having it their way, but this time it feels like they're letting us have it our way. Or not. For those who want to be no way about the 8K, the easy thing to say is, but I don't need 8K, or my computer's gonna melt. Do you need 8K? Well, if you really need to ask, then you probably don't. But the strain on the computer is a reality though. Locke's iMac and memory cards emoji weeped as it struggled to contain those fat-bottomed 8K files. 72 gigabytes for 8 minutes of 8K. 76 gigabytes even. It's going to be burning through hard drives and your wallet if you shoot all 8K. And his iMac would probably make that noise as if it's about to prepare for takeoff. 8K will probably make for some realer than real looking 4K video. Putting in a 4K timeline is going to provide you with better than 4K looking files because they're 8K. I say probably because I've not tested the R5, but generally speaking, it should do, right? Have a look for yourself in Locke's hands-on video of the R5 and R6. Very lucky man to get hands-on with it. So will I find out for sure what the R5's 8K is like? Probably not. Since the EOS R review, the person who invited me to review their gear previously got invited to work somewhere else. Since then, Canon UK has gone back to the old school ways of inviting more professional people than myself. People who sell photography magazines and people who sell their gear. Look, I'm not going to push it nor grovel for it, but I still like Canon in my own way. Like an entanglement without penetration. But anyway, 8K also useful for cropping if you're publishing in 4K without losing on quality, and in 1080 if you want to crop the crap out of it. But with such performance perks, there are potential pitfalls. My former colleague Jake at CVP made a great video highlighting that EOS R5 might overheat. Might. I say might, but Canon provided CVP with duration times that you can record with the R5 before it says, nah, sorry, too bloody hot, let's take 5. Or 10. Or 20, depending on resolution and frame rate you're shooting at. Blogged by Andrew Reid and then reblogged everywhere else, the R5 is becoming known as much for its 8K as it is the overheating. 8K RAW and 4K 120 is fire, but the focus is all about the camera catching fire now. Oh yeah, maybe I need a better thumbnail pic. Woof. Spicy food fart. But is it that big a problem? Well, it's hard to say when it's just on paper. In practice, we need to see before we can figure out if it's a major problem in use. But look, there are other cameras out there at the moment that many people use that suffer from overheating issues like a penguin in a desert, yet people just laugh it off and keep calm and carry on. The camera gave a warning about the temperature after about 14 minutes and then cut off after 19 minutes. Test at home with intermittent direct sunlight on the camera and then cut out after 15 minutes of filming. and with cameras with smaller sensors shooting at regular 4K 25p, not full frame 8K RAW. Otherwise there's the Z6, it shoots RAW with an Atomos. Yeah, I know it's a bit boring. Or the Panasonic S1 shoots RAW with an Atomos. Sensible. So maybe we should all stop complaining, or maybe we have the right to. After all, it is a $4,000 camera, and when the hell did $4,000 cameras become the norm? That kind of money's still enough to make the most extravagant of spenders' colons cramp up at the thought of chucking down that money on a body only. But if you're thinking of spending $4,000 on a camera, then why not have demands? Or whinge? It's a bit too early to get aggro about it. I mean, it's like, oh, we haven't got another Cropgate sequel, so we feel the need to find something else to shit on them for. Early days, yes, but it could actually end up being worse, seeing as these are tests done in a controlled testing environment. When you're shooting in the summer under the sun, it could be much shorter. They should have released the camera in the winter. But look, people seem to expect Canon to go from offering cameras with severely cropped 4K and questionable crippling of the camera to making a perfect camera without any flaws. It's just not going to happen, is it? But look, you can get a C300 II or C200 used for around that money, and to be honest, if you're just focused on video, you'd probably be better off with those, because they're made for video. But let's not forget that the R5 is also a stills camera, and with 45 megapixels up to 20 fps, 12 fps mechanical, 8 stops IS, it's seemingly no slouch for stills either. It's just that if you're only a still shooter and you want those specs, then $4,000 seems a bit much. Just for the stills aspect. The R6 is more reasonably priced, but then the specs have been suitably shrilled up too. Saying that, I think the R6 seems like a suitable choice for still shooters if you don't need that 45 megapixels. There is a new R though, which has the megapixels and doesn't do video if you're interested. Okay, so I'm prepared for a morning of poshness. Leica time! Alright, we've got a virtual product presentation, but they've prepared a surprise for me. Unboxing. We've got somebody's farm in a box right here. We have got county biscuits. Ooh, would you like a biscuit? Would you? You can't have a biscuit because you're over there. Fruitcake. I don't know why that was funny. Silky tea bags and some jam. Great to put on my fruitcake, I guess. Lovely. Thank you very much. So yeah, they're just increasing the M10 family. They've got the M10, obviously, the M10D. I'm not remembering all this, it's on the screen right here. The M10P and the monochrome. So this is the R, which I guessed R stands for resolution, like they do with all the other Rs in digital camera terms. The main change is that it has a 40 megapixel sensor in it, and it's £7,100. And I want one. Don't think I'll buy the R5, although it is cheaper at £4,200. But who knows, I might still end up getting one. I'm one of those slack-sphinctered spenders with a penchant for purchasing nice cameras. And despite the complaints and the fact that I probably don't need 8K, 4K 120 is a very juicy prospect. And look, even just having full-frame 4K 25 or 30 in a Canon is a great thing, and as I'd be using that most of the time, I'd be interested to see how it performs in this mode, not just how quickly it does overheat when shooting in 8K. The R5 is interesting for Canon because it's not just a statement, but it could be one of the devices that changes consumer demands. Although it might be used for better looking 4K and cropping now, 8K TVs and computers made to handle 8K might become the norm at some time not too far away. You might not want it now, and you might complain about things like overheating without even handling first, but respect has to be given to Canon for pushing things forward in the world of consumer tech. For a change. Now, there's not many hands-on videos out there at the moment. Peter McKinnon's, Camera Labs, and of course my mate Locke, who's done it in 2 languages. 2 videos, of course, not in the same video. But anyway, thanks for watching. Shout out to Squarespace. If you want to set up your own website or online store, just simply set up your own domain. There's a free 14-day trial and 10% off your first order. Links down below. And why use Squarespace? Well, I've said it many times before, but I'll say it again because it makes setting up a website dead easy, and with 24/7 customer service in case you get stuck, and you most likely won't. Plus, there's a whole load of templates to choose from. You just pick it, customize it, build your website. Super easy to do. Anyway, I just want to end this video with a look at some of your photos. At the start of lockdown, I started a Kai Expose Yourself hashtag on Instagram as a way of sharing your photos. Lockdown's over, but anyway, I'm going to start showing them here. Okay, so previously I mentioned I hate those disgustingly detailed macro shots of insects. Now somebody's been trolling this with macro shots of insects. Ooh, nice blue vibe to that. London is pretty sometimes. Sometimes it just looks better in photos than in real life, like this. Okay, cool. Frame within a frame within a frame. Malaga, Spain. Reminds me of family holidays in Spain. Always used to go through Malaga airport. Our memories. German tourists calling dibs on sun lounges. Brits eating British food in Spain. Agadoo. Boga! Boga! Whoa. It's like Barney the dinosaur's cells under a microscope. Trippy. Miniatures. I like these. Yep. Don't know why. Star Trails. Done in his back garden. Wish I had a back garden. I just wish I had a back garden generally. But I wish I had a back garden where I could do Star Trails in. I really want to do them, but I'm just not that patient. Even less patient when it's in the cold. In the dark. In the cold. And there's no sofa. Show us your pics and I'll share some. Insects, Borka, whatever you like. Expose yourself. Used to DJ, I would love to see footage of this. Unfortunately, this was before a time when everybody had to document every single thing they're doing every single day. I did some gigs in a pub. I did a gig in a strip club called Devil's Advocate. No stripping was going on at the same time. Maybe some paint stripping. Oh, claimed fame as I was once a warm-up act for Tidy Tracks DJ who, I can't remember his name right now, but Tidy Tracks is a hard house label. You don't know what hard house is? Basically, it's like electronic music violently attacking your eardrums over and over again. Oh, and my DJ name was Kaiser, and I did all of this before I was 18. Is Bokified a new Bokalicious? Well, I'm not going to try to trademark it and put it on any merch anytime soon. Mont Blanc. Rollerball or fountain? Fountain reminds me of being in schools, even though I hated school, and my handwriting is terrible, so I don't really do it justice. My handwriting looks like a load of squash spiders. Right, Vital Lemon Tea, yay! One thing I miss since leaving Hong Kong is the array of drinks. 7-Eleven, loads of funny tea drinks with bits in it. I most likely won't ever live in Hong Kong again, sadly, but what I can have is their tea. Okay, so that's all I've got the patience for. I'll probably do these bits again, maybe, maybe not. But anyway, thanks for watching. See you again. Bye-bye.